Double fist. So, Jared's really big into comedy and stuff. He watches Comedy Central all the time. So as a birthday present, I found a comedian I wanted to hire for him. This man is actually from my hometown. He grew up in Woodward, from Woodward. We kind of actually even went to the same undergrad. He attended Oklahoma Panhandle State for a little bit. Not when Jared and I were there, but...
when Jared was.
Yeah, kind of when Jared was, a little bit after Jared. Anyway, he's a really great guy. He's an expert on what it takes to be older in age. And I've had fun getting to know him. So this is Stan Silliman. If you guys would give him a round of applause, he's here for our entertainment tonight.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Jared, my prostate is as big as a grapefruit. I'm not bragging, you don't brag about something like that. I have to ask my prostate for permission to sit down. When I go to the bathroom, I take a magazine with me to pee. I could have my prostate taken out, but then what would I do for an opener? What would I do? Yeah. You're probably wondering where Tyler dug up this old, ancient, broken down comedian in the phone book. A better question is, what was Tyler doing with a 1985 phone book? Let's be honest. How many are shocked I'm still awake? I once fell asleep during a rectal examination. That's when they kicked me out of proctology school. But my bro made it. Doc Proc, we call him. He's got one of those bumper stickers. Backsides, bought this buggy. Which is better than his old bumper sticker, which used to read, tailgate me now, and wait until I get you in my office. That was a long-ass bumper sticker, wasn't it? It hung off the bumper of his Ford Pro. Speaking of, I recently got one of those colonoscopies. Anybody else have the pleasure? No?
Not gonna admit it.
Not gonna admit it? Let me tell you, I hadn't been penetrated that deeply since the last time I was abducted by aliens. Jose and Manuel. Is he here or something? I was blindfolded. I wouldn't know. I recently got stopped for speeding, and the officer asked me why I was going so fast, and I said, look at me, you got my driver's license, I'm old. I'm trying to get there before I forget where I'm going. I got off a warning ticket. Of course I had to blow him. Doesn't sound. You hate when that happens. You know what I hated about it? You know what I hated about it? When I was finished, I forgot where I was going. Those kind of things happen to me all the time. So now, you're going to get the feeling, Jared. I am old. My wife and I have Social Security sex. Once a month, but you can't live on it. Now when I go out to the airports just for the pat downs. Whoa. And I'm just ethnic enough looking, I can get a really good pat down. That's right. Really good. I guess I'm going to have to wash my car. I went out in the parking lot. Somebody had written on the back of it, "I wish my girlfriend was this dirty." So you know what I did? I crossed through the word "was" and wrote the word "were" on there. Can't be driving around with bad grammar on my car. Just because some smartass doesn't know his subjunctive. I run into smartasses all the time. Like for last Christmas, a guy gave me gift certificates for BJ's. Turns out to be a restaurant.
That's pretty good.
Turns out to be a restaurant. Yeah. Even my doctor was a smartass. When we had this big ice storm, and I was out on the corner of my house, a big chunk of ice fell out on my foot. I went inside, took my shoe off, my foot started swelling up. I called the doctor. You know what he told me? Put ice on. You run into them all the time. Even in the boardrooms of some of our biggest corporations, there are smartasses. I don't prove it to you. How else do you explain that the world's tiniest written instructions are on the side of the Visine bottle? And then they brought out, here's the deal. Then Visine brought out Visine for sensitive eyes. Like, who in the heck doesn't have, one of those macho guys going into the pharmacy. Mr. Pharmacist, I'd like to have some of that jalapeno eye drops there. Give me any of that sissy, sensitive eye stuff. Yeah. I'll tell you some more about me. I was recently invited to try out to be a host on Girls Gone Wild. Girls Gone Wild Retirement Villages. Blue-haired babes and their wild Winnebagos. Gertrude and Margaret just got to get something off their chest and onto their tummies. Did y'all hear about this 83-year-old great-grandmother who got a boob job, California? 83-year-old great-grandmother with a boob job. And she had like 14 great-grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren, 12 grandchildren, and 6 children. And she didn't tell any of them. She got it, she paid for it herself, $8,000, paid for it herself. And because Medicare doesn't have a double D plan. That's she was the talk of the rest of them. Did you hear about Marie? She came home from the hospital with a perfect pair of twins. No, she hadn't named them yet, but they're sitting up already. Yeah. More and more that's happening. Cougars are getting this big deal. And in fact, Victoria's Secret has got a bra for the reconstructed cougar. But instead of leopard, it has liver spot. Want another boob joke? If you want, it's okay. Okay, another boob joke. Janet Jackson's nipple is still in court. From the 2004 Super Bowl, it's still been argued about, talked about, still been in court, up to now. I think they just recently settled it. But, do you guys remember that deal? Do you remember the halftime show of 2004 Super Bowl. That's, I mean, it was a traumatic experience. You know, my granddaughter still can't drink chocolate milk. It's Jared, this is what you got to look forward to. I don't even know any rodeo cowboys that have any cartilage, you know, over the age of 50 with any cartilage in the back. But that, you know, this is just an observation. Yeah. But, you know, people ask me how old I am, and I tell them, when I was born, FDR was president. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And if I happen to mention that to someone who's older than I am, they always say the same thing. They say, you know, they're not making presidents like FDR anymore. And I say, sure. They cured polio. They cured polio. Oh, my. That one kills them in the nursing home. It does, doesn't it? And then you got to stop the show, you know. Oh, you killed Charlie. You're Mary, one is there, bottle is 3/4 full, yeah. I do some gigs in a nursing home, I do. Anytime I work in a nursing home, I always wear this stupid shirt. That way, if my jokes aren't going over so well, I can always bend over, let them play checkers. Feels kind of good when they jump, you know, not so great when they start sticking their gum in your belly button. But yeah. My dog is crazy. Found him out in the garden, humping on a cantaloupe. Now we have a melancholy baby. So I was having sex with my dog. Watching us from the foot of our bed. He didn't let me finish the sentence. He was critiquing our style, yeah. He thinks he's hot stuff because he does it people style. That's my dog. Here. Did y'all hear where they impregnated this female gorilla by artificial insemination using the sperm from this huge gorilla named Goliath? That's what I'd like to be, the guy who jacked off that gorilla. That's right. That's my hero. That'd be my hero, you know. I wear gloves when I met him, but that'd still be my hero there. I got people I'd like to meet, you know. I'd like to meet one of those Satanists, devil worshippers, so I can tell them to go to hell. Or I'd like to meet the guy who first started the saying, "Have a nice day." Yeah, I'd like to meet him and tie him to a buoy on the international date line. Have a nice day. Have another nice day. International date line jokes don't go too good in Stillwater, Oklahoma, I guess, huh? She's looking at me. She says, "The international date line is not a 1-900 number. You hook with some guy named I'd like to meet the guy who first drew up that little happy face. What do you want to bet? He's a bald-headed idiot with no ears. He should have to spend the rest of his life in Moore, Oklahoma. Some people get that deal. That was a little happy face town for a long time. Moore. I grew up in the panhandle of Oklahoma, part of a large Jewish family, 6 kids. We were trying to pass for Catholic. Actually, we were Jewish and Polish, which meant we had money, but couldn't find it. I had an uncle who was a pervert. He was a Jewish pervert. He used to stand on the street corner and say, "Hey, little girl, want to buy a piece of candy?" Whoa!
Buy a piece of candy.
Was I go too fast? Hey, little girl, want to buy a piece of candy? Okay. You have some kids here, I see. Okay. I got a joke or two for the kids. I do write sports columns. One of my favorite subjects to write about is a former Olympic skier named Peekaboo Street. Anybody remember her? She been in the Olympics. You know what she does now? Peekaboo Street goes around the country giving inspirational speeches in colleges and things there. And last spring she gave the commencement speech at Colorado University for the medical school, and she did it in the wing of a hospital. And I thought, she ought to, it was a great opportunity for somebody to get on the intercom and call her to the intensive care unit. Peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo, I see you. I see you.
One for the kiddos.
Yeah. My wife's doing some of the filming. I understand there's more than one film. We'll get more than a couple angles here.
Good.
My wife's got little bitty tiny hands. You gotta hide them. You gotta hide them. Her hands are so small she can't open up a mayonnaise can. Yeah. So I'm like the designated jar opener in the family. But on the plus side, whenever she gives me a handy, I think looks enormous. Yes.
I don't like that.
Enormous, yeah. You get the full show.
I like small hands.
She doesn't like to dance. My wife likes to dance. She's in a line dance group, and she practices dancing all the time, all around the house. And one of the more recent songs that she was practicing her dancing to was real catchy, and I find myself singing to it. And it goes like this: if you want to be happy the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. From my personal point of view, get an ugly girl to marry you. You heard this song? I was dancing all around the house and I was singing that song, and my wife spots me, gives me one of those looks. You know what I'm talking about? One of those looks. And I said, "Don't worry, honey, I'm not that happy." How's my hair? Not so great, is it? My hair is just, I've got like alternative lifestyle here, just refuses to go straight. And it actually kind of starts frizzing up, and somebody told me, my hair's gone Kramer. And my hand's gone Bob Doe. So I don't know whether to use the N-word or run for president. You can see my hand. I won't get slapped. I'm not going to get slap anybody, but you can see my hand. Gone Bob Doe on me. And it's just been a couple of years since it's happened. But if I were president, it'd be kind of crazy. I would operate wars a little bit more sneaky. It'd be a little more sneaky, a little more ironic. For instance, when we're on the front lines, our guys are on the front lines, instead of having our guys throw grenades, at the enemy, I'd have them toss fruit.
Fruit?
Yeah, fruit, like oranges, grapefruit, or lemons. I'd have them toss it up to the enemy, and the enemy would have all this fruit flying in, and they'd be afraid of it, and then they'd cut it open, they'd realize it's delicious food. And then they'd realize how silly war is. And then they put down their arms. And right then, that's when you toss the grenade. I've written online some stories for a website called Quipster. I'd like to take a look at it. I've got more stuff on there than anybody else on the deal called Quipster. And they have all kinds of crazy stories. All kinds of crazy stories on this Quipster deal. And the idea is just to kind of make up quips to go with the stories. And here's one I found. Let's see if you... Pass this around. That story right there. And they're crazy stories. This is one I found out here, and maybe you heard of this. I don't know, but up in Nashville, a bus was driving through Nashville, carrying a bunch of canisters of bull semen. A bunch of canisters of bull semen. Driving through Nashville. Did you ever hear about that?
I just sure did.
And it was coming from Ohio. These, and they were going to Laredo. They were going to some ranch in Laredo. Coming from Ohio, going to Laredo. 5 or 6 canisters of bull semen were on this bus. And they fell off the bus. They fell off the bus, yes. And they started, the ice started melting and started smoking. People thought there was some kind of bomb or something like that, these canisters. And they stopped traffic for 3 hours in Nashville. And I think, this is kind of karma. You can't mix your breeds. You don't put bull semen on a bus, a Greyhound bus, named after a dog. It won't take it. It won't take it off. And then I read a little more about the story. It said these 5 canisters of bull semen was worth $80,000. And I'm thinking to myself, forget cow tipping, get my gloves. Yeah. That's a true story. Can you think of it? I think that maybe that's the most ideal place that canisters can fall off a bus at is in Nashville. Because then, they can start Cotton Eye Joe to it, and just change the words to Bowsburn, something like that. They can do that, This story will get around. I got a copy of it. I got more copies. What do you do?
You don't want to know.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I want to know. No,
He does know.
I saw a little video of you on the internet. I think somebody in this room may have directed it. I'm not exactly sure.
Where's that back? Right there. He's the one that directed it.
Okay. So this little deal. It was an infomercial, I think. Like an informative infomercial. I think. I mean, I think it was great.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
For what, you explaining what it was. But You know, I don't think you'd ask me to help direct one. But if I was doing it, here's what I would do. If I was doing it, I would change the scene to be like an old saloon. A Western saloon. You know? Guys are inside, they're boozing and they're playing poker, and then you hear some Big Valley music run up there, you know. So they know Jared Barkley's on his way. The Big Valley music is coming up there. But then, you know, as they come in, that's, you know, the saloon doors would swing open. Light would kind of just glare right into Jared. And all the people in the saloon would be turning and looking at him. And then the music would change to Repro Man. Carrying an artificial cow vagina. Music coming back there. Repro Man. He can get the sperm no one else can. Then I'd show some pictures of El Diablo, the rodeo bull that nobody else can handle. You know? Some people ask me sometimes, you know, do I regret getting kicked out of medical school? I mean, if I had gone through, you know, I would be having to look at behinds all day, you know. Now I get to look at you guys. But some people say, wow, wait a moment. You not only get to look at them, you get to stick things up the rectum, too. Where can you get a job like that? No. I've got some books. I'm going to talk about my books a little bit because I'm hoping some people might want to buy them. They're really funny. They're cartoon books. I've done like 800 cartoons. But if you buy 2 books, you get one of these. You get one of these pictures.
What?
Get this cartoon of reprogram. So I'll tell you about my books. This book here, called The News and Double Dactyls, was won the Oklahoma Book Award for the best book of poetry in 2002. I'll give you some samples, but basically what they are, they're news items that are made into poems, and they have a cartoon with them. Everyone has a cartoon with them, and they're all double dactyl poems. I don't know if I'm not going to take time to explain what those are, but those are like 8 lines of poetry. Each line is 6 syllables. But here's kind of the deal. I don't know if you can see this picture here.
No.
This is not a big room. Well, and you know you have what they call the zoom factor.
Okay. Let's see if I can make that happen.
Anyway, this poem goes like this. Senora says mora. Here's the news item. A 63-year-old woman had a baby. That was like a record at the time. So the story goes like this. Senora says mora 63-year-old mom gave birth to a wee one. Mom and baby, what a pair. Volume diaper discounts. She's happy, she's beaming, photographically perfect. Baby's blue eyes match mom's hair. That's the kind of stuff we do. I know we've got a lot of rap fans here.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not. Anyway, here's the cartoon there on that one. This one goes like this. Rappity zappity, exiting in Vegas. Tupac Shakur went down. Left town in a box. Never to be outdone by his West Coast rival, Notorious Big. Left town in a bigger box. Some of those go back a little. Well, that one was in 2002. This book right here, Sports Fans Are Crazy, is full of those stories. It's all stories and it has cartoons about crazy sports fans. And I write a humor column that's on papers all around the country. And I've been writing them for 10 years. There's some of these are some of the columns that are collected in here. I'll try to read them. They're a little too lengthy. This book is Silliman's Golden Rule. Silliman's Golden Rules. 3 rules for anything. This is if you want to give somebody a gift book, and it kind of makes fun of actual real books like that. Advice book. I'm telling you, it's making fun of advice book. For instance, I've got the golden rules for hailing a New York taxi. The number 1 rule is don't leave the curb. Number 2 rule is hide your weapon. 3rd rule is hold up sign, green cards for sale. Here's the, you're gonna love this picture, girl.
He's all over you. He's all over you.
This is the golden rules for being a cowboy.
Oh, shoot.
I've got some bigger cartoons of that. Anybody wants those, buy some books, I'll give you a bigger cartoon, I'll sign them. I've got this blown up a little bit. Here's the rules. Carry plenty of talcum powder. They didn't call that TV series Rawhide for nothing. Kissing your horse is okay. Dressing it in a frilly negligee and serenading it over a campfire isn't.
Heard that one.
Always carry a clipboard, paper and pencil on your saddle. You never know when a poem or a song might hit you. That's the 3 rules, yeah. Kind of a cute cartoon. I've got another, I didn't bring it, we scattered them around here, but didn't bring those. I've got one other that's full of sick jokes. Now, I don't know if anybody likes sick jokes, but I've got one there that's called It's a Silly Sick World. And it's all one-panel cartoons. So, I'm going to show you some of those when large. Had a series of thanking Elvis. Big Elvis fans here?
Yeah.
I had from the 1985 jokes I had. I was going to bring some that deal. Some of them were on Elvis, and except the parchment I had them on broke. Here's a cartoon, Elvis. This is thanking Elvis for establishing the throne as deaf locale of choice for kings. And I've got a few of those. This one, I've got an article that goes with this. This is my imagination that they would want some Yetis to be basketball players. The article I wrote had that one came to Stillwater, and they shaved him up real good. He cleaned up really well. He didn't have to go back to Gans, but I'll show you that article for a minute. Here's one from the Silly Zick world. People see that? Can you see it?
No.
Mountain climbers. Two mountain climbers. One is reaching down. The other one's got a rubber hand in the deal. And the guy up the head is thinking that rubber hand trick works every time. That's a little sick. Here's another one. It's kind of sick. This is from Silly Zick World too. First one is Clint Eastwood, and he's saying, "Make my Danish." The next guy is saying, "On my pancakes this high." That's Clint and Adolf ordering breakfast. Okay, I think I'm about done now. You know, this is what you got to look forward to. I hope both your hands work when you get into. All right, good now. Yeah, mine worked. I mean, it worked until just a couple of years ago, and then it stopped. It ran out of, you have a time permit. So on some of this stuff. And people ask, it worked, but, I mean, it's like I lost an old friend.
Oh, no. There's certain things I can't do anymore. I mean, I would do this some more, but I say, what fun of it is it
Concentration.
to masturbate if you can't take a tube of lipstick and draw a little mouth? Can't do that.
The part you can't do.
And I can't do that,
You let him do this. That's the thing, is you let him do
I
this.
can take the tube of lipstick and I can draw here, but I got no grip. And I can't hold a tube of lipstick with my right hand to draw on my left. And I can't ask my wife to help me.
Hey, you're
Because then she'd figure out, after all those years, what's been happening to her lipstick. If there's any point to my act, it says old people can have fun too. You always say that, right? Old people can have fun too.
You bet.
I mean, you don't know what it's like, until you've been walking hand in hand with your spouse of many decades and reminiscing about all the things you can't remember together.
Lyle,
Or if you happen to stick a tongue in an old broad's ear and swallow a hearing aid. That's not good.
Lyle, you got problems like this?
Some of you people,
Exactly. Huh? Huh?
some of you people know that your grandparents are still doing it, right? You don't understand that? You don't understand that? No? Yeah, no.
He only did it once.
Have you ever walked into Nana's house and found her handcuffed to her walker?
This goes against my morals.
Or going out in the backyard and find on the clothesline those big old granny panties. Crotchless. You ever? Or go inside and find that her Craftomatic has a doggy style setting. In some circles we call that shagging the short pay. That's hey you guys, I've had fun. Hope Gerald has had fun, didn't take it too hard. We got pictures of him, we got books, you know, of the deal. And this guy will, he'll go through old age pretty well. Let's give it for Gerald. Gerald. Yeah, excellent. All right.
That's it?
Named after Dick Long.